Yo, what's up, everyone? I hope you have been doing better than I have been doing this last week. Sometimes I seriously do feel that there are kind of issues that happen in my life and through like the self-reflection that I go through. I really enjoy sharing that, and in a way it then kind of evolves into really hitting where the people that I attract are at as well. So I just want to share, and then we'll just kind of go with it. Because I'm always going back and forth about making these kind of videos. I really enjoy them. I really feel very moved to reflect and speak about my experiences. But then I double take, and I'm like, this is not valid, this is not useful, this is just negative. Because my existence, my headspace, is sometimes very, very fucking negative, and I worry about that, and if what I have to offer is good, because sometimes my headspace is shit, and I'm not sharing from the negative headspace. It's about the headspace and how I'm choosing to engage with it, and it can feel very isolating. And it can feel very lonely, especially when I watch other intuitive content creators, mostly on YouTube. And they have all of these beautiful messages that are so deep and rich, and really like feeling themselves and feeling so good. And they speak beautifully, and their words, like I feel them and they make me feel so good. But I don't hear about battles with negative thoughts. I don't hear about them actually having to actively elevate their own mood, because their head just keeps shitting on everything. And they tend to share the, I guess, like the cure in a way. The energy that's like the counterforce. Like, I watch those things and it makes me feel good, and it kind of counters my own negative headspace. But there's no behind the curtain, if that makes sense. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of you guys have been going through this thing too, where you keep oscillating back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about doing something that you feel kind of like you want to do, but for whatever reason you're like talking yourself out of it. And these things can be really scary as well, and they can bring up, you know, like a lot of fear, because it's like new beginnings aren't always comfortable, and doing something different, putting yourself in a vulnerable position is not comfortable. But at the same time, it's like there's this thing in you that, you know, you're just like, you want to do it. And yeah, like, even me doing this video is like me attempting to dip my toe into something that I want to do. And I speak about it a lot, and I think all of us have been going through this. Like, this is not just an idea that we've had yesterday to do. We're talking like things that, you know, we've put on the back burner for probably quite a long time, whether it's going to school, making content, doing this, doing that. Like, the seeds of this thing have been planted like a long time ago, but it's starting to kind of come to this place now where I personally feel like I've started to realize more and more and more that like my negative thinking is really getting in the way. And I was like, oh my god, no shit. But it's like, I feel like a lot of us have been, you know, we've been like healing certain patterns, we've been ending certain patterns, you know, like we have been improving and growing as like people. But then there's this, it's like the inner saboteur. Although we're not having like additional reasons to feel bad, even though there kind of is sometimes, it's like the inner saboteur is now taking little scraps that it can in order to have as loud of a voice as it's always had. I'm just gonna let that one sit. Our inner saboteur is taking the tiny little things now and devouring that to stay as loud as it always has been. But it feels like we're finally realizing that this voice, you know, it's like the voice is really loud now because we've quietened all the sources of shit. We're realizing that it's been this thing in our head, like, the whole time. And it's fucking hard, and I think, like, a lot of us have kind of, like, known it's always been there, but we've always been able to, like, label the cause outside of ourselves. So what I'm getting, and I think when I was, like, understanding this, I went and checked the astrology chart of today, and Virgo, Mercury has just entered Virgo. It's, like, at 1 degrees, and I think it's that, which is this vibe of, like, finally improving and actually really taking better care of our thoughts. And I'm gonna link down below an affirmation board that I made a very long time ago, and maybe some of you will resonate with it, maybe some of you won't, but you can make your own full of affirmations to start feeding and reprogramming this side of you, because this oscillating back and forth between what you really want, it's only being stopped by these thoughts. Now, we've tried to find as many cores as we can and pluck them out, and we've really tried to, like, rake, I don't know, like sift through and rake through, like, all of the causes for this part of us. And I personally feel like the path that I'm starting to take now is to hold myself accountable to practice better ways of thinking, actively choosing to do affirmations daily and filling myself up with it, because nothing else is fucking working. Nothing else is working. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of getting to that realization too. You know, we can cut out these shit people, we can, like, go to therapy and, like, we can, you know, accept and heal certain parts of, like, childhood things and the causes and belief, like, the reason and the where these beliefs come from. But there is no practice of practicing replacing thoughts. So when you face a situation that's scary and uncomfortable, your brain is kind of flicking through the Rolodex of, okay, how can I respond to this? And although you've tried to, like, uninstall these programs of, like, old belief data, it, like, has no new references. It has no replacing thoughts. And it's gonna take us time. It's gonna take time to start installing these new text files of different beliefs and different thoughts. But it feels like right now that's the only fucking way. Like, modern mental health and things like that, it's like, it's not feeding us, like, these better ways of thinking. And, like, therapy is great, yes, but also at the same time, you need it every day. You would need therapy every single day. You would need coaching every single day to get out of these negative thought patterns. And it's so difficult to hold yourself accountable, but I feel like so many of us are being forced to realize that, like, that is the only way that we're gonna be able to get better. And it makes me so emotional. It makes me so emotional because I just feel like so many people are so struggling with, like, kind of, like, even contemplating, like, ending things because they're just being pushed to that point. And just like, it gets me so emotional because you are all so beautiful, and like there is creativity in you that wants to be expressed, and like God wants it to be out there and your guides want it to be out there, but like there is this lack of self-fueling. And then we might look at these inspirational people who have everything together, and I don't know, there's this like sense of like not really being able to connect with them because they're not validating your current experiences, which is like, my brain is like being a total dick and turning everything that I like to shit. Getting to the point now where like it turns anything of a scrap of shit into like, I don't know, it blows it up. Is it out of proportion? Maybe, but it's still valid, right? Like it's still what you're experiencing. So, oh, sorry, I got emotional, but it's just mental health and this experience is something I'm so passionate about because, man, like my head, like I've been battling with like these kind of thoughts for so long, and then I make progress and it feels like I fall back, and it feels like that's also an experience that maybe you guys can relate with, where it's like, you know, you think you're making progress and things start to move and then you get like a wobble or a setback, and then suddenly boom, the spiral comes in, everything's gonna start falling to shit, the doom is inevitable. And I'm here to remind you that, you know, like, we gotta retrain the brain and practice these better thinking thoughts. And for examples of better thinking thoughts, as I said, like, I'll link a thing below with like affirmations that I use. You know, there's affirmations like, my soul is beautiful and my light shines through in everything I do today, and I radiate love and happiness. Because, mate, my thoughts, like, on the other end of it, like I think I radiate really shit vibes. Like, that's what my brain's telling me. And like, you know, that I'm not beautiful and I'm a fucking piece of shit and like people hate me and da 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 da. And you know, whether those things, like, even now it's like, even whether those things are true, like that's how my brain thinks. Like that's just it just is that right now. And it's you know, as I've even just practiced these affirmations today, like I feel full. And I might not be completely healed, but it's pushed me in this direction right now to even make this video. And I feel like there's so many of us that are going through this. And like, you are the one that connects with the people that are like you, because the people who are currently like on platforms and on stages right now, like, and influencing, like, that they're enjoyable to watch, but sometimes you won't find that relatability because there is you're part of like a different tribe, like you're part of like the people that are like struggling with something just so much deeper and something just very different. And at the same time though, I think it's more popular than you fucking think as well. You know, if this is hitting you now and you're like, yes, like this is how you hit people too when you share from that same place. And it can be in so many different ways as well. Now, I know this is like literally, this specific message is kind of going into, there's someone watching right now who's like content creation vibes that's very similar like with me with like the negativity. You might not be the same personality type, da-da-da-da-da, that's fine. But like, I wanted to like push that person, but there's other ways that this is just like manifesting, you know, of just like, there are spaces and places that you need to be. You need to be there. Like, whether it's in the fucking work office somewhere, like your presence is needed and required in these areas, but you're like too scared to step into it. And that's okay. Like, this is where we're supposed to be. Like, that's valid. Like, we're meant to be here. It's all happening for a reason. You're not doing anything wrong. But in order to push ourselves into that step, it feels like this is what needs to happen, and it's actively practicing these better ways of thinking, because there's no other way about it right now for us. And if you can think of another way, like, please share it in the comments, because like, this is the only thing that's making sense to me right now. I made some notes as well of other things that I've been going through, so yeah, keep going back and forth between wanting to do something then not wanting to do it. Like, literally 1 minute you might be like super hyped and like, yeah, actually, yeah, fucking I've got to figure it out, blah, 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 blah. The moment you even step into the room or you start to come closer to it, boom, changes. And it feels like we're being forced to practice retraining our thoughts by experiencing that to an extreme. Creativity wants to express itself through you and into or onto something. I was getting a lot of like, just feelings of like, yes, like, here I am, like, finally, like, I'm not hiding anymore. I'm just, oh, thank you. I'm just like moving. I want to move, and I want to show myself, and I want to shine now after so many years of like hiding who I really am. And this doesn't have to be like, it could even just be showing and accepting your own passion for something. It doesn't have to be something that's out there, like on stage, but it's something that kind of gets actualized. So for example, if you have like a secret passion for always wanting to like work with children, like, it's really kind of like putting that to the front, you know, because there's these things that have been shelved that have been like, yeah, I think I started this, I kind of redid this video a couple of times. I like jumbled my words and like, those like, okay, right, I'll start again. So I don't know if I said it in this video, but there's definitely things that we've shelved, and it's finally like, you know, these seeds of things that we've wanted to do have been there for a really long time, and we're finally like bringing it to the forefront again. I think a lot of people have been worried that they don't have like the energy and the resources for it, but I actually think the negative thinking is zapping your energy and resources more than actual physical circumstances. So again, affirmations I feel like will re-energize. I got a note here of like, yeah, we're becoming tired with the inner saboteur. Like, we're finally sick of this inner saboteur. Like, we've cleaned the house, and now we can see what's truly like causing these issues. And like, it can be so complex and complicated trying to find like, oh, well, who created this stink? Like, where did this come from? Blah, 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 blah. But I think like, that's a slow process. But as we do that, like, we need to start filling the room. All of these things that we've been working to heal, great, but like, now we need to like put new good things in the places that we've cleaned, because yeah, you've healed a lot, but then it's like you don't have this, again, going back to my like computer analogy, it's like you don't have the files, you don't have these like resources of different ways to think about things and different ways to feel about things. And as you start kind of practicing these thoughts, let your body respond to them and feel like they're real and act as if it is so. And yeah, the last point, I've just said it though. It's just like, we've all, I feel like, ended some cycles, but we need to fill and feed ourselves with goodness to give us that push that we need to take that next step. Right now, if you guys are into flower remedies, I would recommend you guys take wild oat and walnut. I will read the little bits from my little book that I got from a friend. So wild oat, well, we'll go with walnut first. So walnut, if you don't know how to take tinctures, by the way, it's basically like herbal flower energy. In a tincture, I'm such a fucking hippie right now. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, you don't have to take them, but I like them. But walnut is really good for transitional periods, especially when you're particularly vulnerable right now, because yes, you've just healed a ton and you're about to take this new step, but you do keep coming back and you can, that's a vulnerable position. and you can be influenced by, by shit, and it's gonna make you feel like you're gonna fumble. So walnut is really good for adjusting in transitional periods, and it helps you to resist powerful influences and follow your own true ambitions. Normally, a walnut person, they might know what they want, but now you tend to oscillate between different things because you've entered this new situation. Maybe you've made a major decision affecting one's life, only the last step remains to be taken. Finally wants to leave behind all restrictions and influences but does not quite succeed. Finds it hard to escape the influence of a dominant personality when making decisions relating to one's own life. So maybe your parents, your partners, your teachers are affecting that. An unexpected outside event forces one to rethink one's whole approach to life. An unexpected, I just read that one. Crucial changes occur in our life. Change of occupation, divorce, retirement, moving to another town, moving to an old people's home. Major biological changes are about to occur, like the menopause, pregnancy, puberty, teething. Finally wants to be really clear in mind concerning a change. Has given up a relationship, but despite physical separation, still feels like they're under the old partner's spell. So this is, if that relates, and you're like, yes, that sounds like me. Walnut. Now you can get, they're called batch flower essences. I'll drop a link down below. I actually partnered up with a website called Aquarius Flower Remedies. I've been a huge fan of them, like way before I got partnered with them. I messaged them, hounding them like, can we go and do something? And I think you get 10% off using Pisces Pixie at the checkout. But they have tons of tinctures like self-empowerment, letting go, safe and sound. There's a ton, but you can get walnut from there, or you can also get it from Amazon. Take a Google, take a search. Like, you don't have to get it from the places that I'm recommending, but if it does relate, please take it. The potential for you after taking it, according to my little book, is that you then become the pioneer who remains true to itself, follows one's life goals undeviatingly, despite adverse circumstances, and you're not influenced by others. Open and unprejudiced towards anything new. Recognizes the laws behind the changes which occur. Immune to outside influence and open to inner inspiration. Able at last to free oneself from the shadows of the past. So that is for walnut. And then the other recommendation I would say for y'all right now is for wild oat. Now, wild oat is probably one of my favorite tinctures, and you'll see why. So this is really for people who have a lot of opportunities in front of them, but you don't know how to make a choice. Like, you have a lot of ideas of things that you'd like to do, but then it never comes to fruition. You're just like, oh, whatever. Like, like, I could do this, I could do that, but then you never end up doing any of them. So there can be vague notions as to aims, cannot find direction in life. This leads to dissatisfaction, frustration, and boredom. Ambitious, wants to do something special, but does not know exactly what. Though ambitious, does not feel inclined towards any particular profession. And there's this feeling of hanging in the air, which leads to despondency. I don't know what the fuck that means. Depressed, because things are not as clear-cut for you than it is for other people. Has many gifts, tries out all kinds of things, but finds no real satisfaction. Unchanneled talents and abilities, does not want to commit, and because of this unconsciously tends to end up in the same unsatisfactory cycles and situations again and again. Easily dissipates gifts and energies, does not know where he fits in. Professional or private life is not of the right kind. What happens after you take wild oat is that you have then the ability to recognize one's potential and develop it to its fullest. Wild range of talents, able to follow a higher guideline and always bring things to completion. Has clear ideas and ambitions and will not allow themselves to be deflected. Able to do many things well, even successfully, or do several jobs simultaneously. The good thing about batch flower remedies, now there's a ton of different flower remedies you can take, but those are the ones that I'm recommending. Walnut, wild oat, And what they do, they're like an energetic medicine. They work with these feelings, these emotions, these like thoughts that are in the way, and rather than like suppressing them out, it's like working to literally transform them. It is a little bit hippy dippy, but it resonates with me. If it resonates with you, go check it out. I feel like we should end with a final card from the Sacred Rebels deck. This is a deck that I pull for myself regularly when I'm going through this exact situation of like, what should I do? I am scared. I don't want to do this is the thing. Me doing this is the thing that I've always wanted to do, but I just don't do because I get scared. And I'm like, no one's gonna like it. Like, fuck me, blah, blah, blah. But I do like it when I feel comfortable. It's just the thought. So before I came on, I was like, right, like, let's fucking do some affirmations. All right, so let me just do a quick prayer. So angels, guides, God, ancestors. What do we need to know? What do we need to know relevant to what we've just been saying? Oh, that's kind of 2 cards. I'll just pull one. Just 1 card, please, if that's okay. Thank you. Is it you? It's you. Okay. So we have seeing the true you. Seeing the true you. And what it says... Oh my god, I literally just pulled right to the page. You guys are so sexy. I don't know if any of you guys have been feeling this too. No offense, like, I know you're here now because I can feel you now, but when have any of you guys have just felt like your guides are just not there anymore? Since Christmas, I don't know if I've had a guide shift or they're just like, I'm sorry, but you're on your own now, unless it's super important. Like, I just don't feel my guides as much as I used to, but they're here now, so thank you, but you're not alone in that either. I needed to say that. So what this card says is sometimes we believe what others tells us. Sometimes we believe what others tell us we are, as though the self we see reflected back to us through their eyes is the truth. Yet the accuracy of a reflection depends on the clarity of that which is doing the reflecting. If the receiver forms any opinion about what is perceived, then what is reflected back to us will at best be distorted. It is not necessarily through ill will, it is just the mechanics of the situation. Even the moon reflects the sun in varying degrees of fullness and clarity. We can learn something through the nature of the sun from the moon, but not as much as through direct perception. This oracle has come to you because you have been putting too much faith in the reflections others have of you, to the point that you might not be honoring all that you are and all that you are becoming, because you believe too little of yourself. There may be those around you who are able to reflect you more faithfully, and even help you to see more of your own greatness and beauty. These are the souls that are blessed with inner stillness. In the clear waters of their ocean of consciousness, you can come to recognize yourself with clearer perception. However, there are those who have not tended to their own ocean and are unable to be still enough to genuinely receive and reflect your light back to you. There is no judgment here. Each takes a path of self-healing that is available and appropriate at any given time to them. However, to attempt to see the magnificence of the sun in a very partial moon does not make sense. If you are blessed with those in your life who can show you the beauty within you, wonderful. Even so, this oracle comes to you with a task that you are now ready for. You are beginning to develop the art of direct perception. This is the ability to recognize yourself not only in the eyes of others, but from how you feel about yourself, how you experience yourself, and how you observe yourself with compassion and kindness from within. This is a step towards radical empowerment that does not require perfection in order for you to realize that you are lovable or have much to offer. I'm gonna butt in real fast. Something that I heard today that has stuck so hard is that Self-worth is not about feeling finally good enough. It's about realizing that you don't have to be good enough. You don't have to be good enough. You're just worthy. This is a step towards radical empowerment. Oh, I read that part. I apologize. It is empowerment based on the acceptance of all that you are, working with your strengths, tending to your weaknesses, and being loving, encouraging, and nurturing of all that you perceive. As you continue on this journey, you will not only see your human self, but the eternal within you. This is a breathtaking experience that opens you up to the creative energy that flows abundantly through all of life. It is an experience that takes great preparation because we must be strong within our own self-love and acceptance to be able to hold acceptance for all of life. This oracle is nudging you into that preparation for when you have the experience of truly beholding yourself. All judgment, fear, and doubt will fade away, and you will know to just be yourself and that yourself is sacred. Then you will be asked to embrace the deeper journey of sacred rebellion against judgment and fear, and into passionate creativity and an unconditional trust in life. This oracle comes with a special message for you. If you are getting confused about who you are and your motives or actions based on what others are saying or how they are responding to you, step back. In your quest to be a responsible person, you may be unintentionally taking on the feelings of others, making their reflections of you more than they are in truth. More often than not, reflections are more about a state of the reflector than what is being reflected. Let those external perceptions go. Can you just acknowledge yourself? Do so and be free. And then the cute thing about this book, it kind of goes into a healing process. So this is something you can do for yourself. It says, say with feeling, I now break any contract I have ever made with another, consciously or unconsciously, that has given them power over me, power over my sense of self, the authority to approve or reject me or anything about me, including my voice, my body, my creativity, my spirituality, and my way of living. Of my own free will, I now choose to directly perceive my own inner beauty and turn within with kindness and compassion to see myself through the eyes of unconditional love, and so be it. That was such a good card for what we were just talking about. Yeah, it's so true, and I think that's what is stopping the people who resonate with this. It's stopping you from stepping up and living the life that you want to live. But yeah, I think that's all I needed to say. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like, a comment, let me know how it resonates. And if you want to see more of my content, or if you want to support me further, you can check out my Patreon link down below. I make bi-weekly videos. I also do private reading streams as well. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can check that out in the description below. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.